Welcome back. It's Time Warner Cable's Local Edition. I'm your host, Brad Pomerance. I'm glad you're with us. Our guest is Lee Baca. He is the Sheriff of Los Angeles County. And I want to speak with you, sir, about an initiative that will be on the ballot in November. It's known as Proposition 30. It's the governor's tax initiative. Increase sales tax by 1/4 cent for 4 years. Taxes on the wealthy would go up for 7 years. A lot of discussion about the education funding element of it, but there's also a funding element for county jails as part of the realignment program.
Correct.
Talk to us about that element.
Well, I think what's critical is California is in a crisis financially. So what this is a renewal of a continuing tax. And therefore,
essentially, it had lapsed, but it's bringing part of that back.
That's right. And so the truth is we need the money.
So I've heard many folks like yourself say that, Democrats and Republicans, but the question becomes, will Californians hear you? Because Californians, we've said this before, they may be blue socially, but fiscally they may be red. And in June they were red, they voted no on a cigarette tax. California votes no on a cigarette tax. Right. So what's your sense?
Well, my sense is that the voters are frustrated with state government. But at the same time, I think the voters understand that education is critical and public safety is critical. What's more important is that this new pension reform plan that the governor's popped out is wise policy, because what people want to see is common sense in managing taxpayer dollars.
There's no doubt that the governor was adamant that he wanted a pension reform plan in place prior to the initiative process, the election, I should say, and it looks like it's there. At the same time, I was really interested to learn that LA County is putting on the same November ballot an extension of its increase in sales tax for transportation projects. And I found that curious in that now in LA County, if you're voting yes on both Proposition 30 and the county tax, you're saying yes to a 1-cent sales tax increase. The timing seems curious.
Yes, and I think the county's is a 5-year renewal requirement, and I believe that public transportation in this county is critical.
No doubt.
And so we've got a lot of challenges, and I think the taxpayers are going to have to think hard and long and then make their vote.
I do want to ask you about an interesting initiative on the ballot. It deals with the death penalty. Your former colleague, Gil Garcetti, he was DA. You overlapped with Mr. Garcetti, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Mr. Garcetti is a proponent of what is essentially the elimination of the death penalty in the state of California. It would turn death sentences into life without the possibility of parole. I'd be interested to hear what the senior law enforcement officer in LA County thinks of that initiative.
Well, I'm for the death penalty on a very limited basis, and I'll make it provisional. I think for the most part, California has neutered the death penalty because it takes 20 years on average to even get to the point where it might happen.
But that's the question, because what Mr. Garcetti has said, as well as proponents of the initiative, is because it is still technically on the books, we are spending so much money to have these death sentences actually imposed that people are dying before they even have their death sentence meted out, and it's just fiscally irresponsible. You know, other states, Republican governors have eliminated death penalties in other states. Illinois, I believe.
The fiscal argument has merit to it. However, the entire state prison system is very costly. And when you look at the small amount that the death penalty element costs versus the whole system, you're dealing with a minute part of money.
Will you be talking about that initiative this fall, or are you going to be more focused on Prop 30, the governor's tax initiative?
Well, I will support Prop 30. The death penalty initiative I'm going to stay out of for a while. I think that people need to decide for themselves without somebody sounding too strong an alarm.
Fair enough. His name is Lee Baca. He is Sheriff for Los Angeles County. My name is Brad Pomerance. Thank you for watching Time Warner Cable's Local Edition.